into the night, city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. Open your eyes and see the people chanting, slowly falling apart. The silence causing an earthquake. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling higher, and I know I can be taller. Shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. Go on, master. I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents, daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. Gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon.
What's up? How is everyone doing? I'm just seeing whether the players are ready or not as of right now. But we've got HELHa taking on HOGENT, not to be confused with UGENT. In the second group, the second tier, you might call it as well. Um, I'm not sure if these dudes know how to speak English, so if nobody says anything, then I will just create the lobby in a minute or two. But yeah, there's also a bracket command, I believe, that can be utilized for some context. Okay, one of the people have left. But there you see it. You'll see a Group B. Two teams progress from there onto playoffs. That includes teams from Group A, the upper tier, if you will. But I believe both of these teams are already out. So this is more of a grudge match. I think they're trying to prove their worth more so than anything else. And I believe overall your results do go into seeding for next tournaments. Sparky is claiming that their opponents are not coming back and that this will be an FF apparently. I'm just kidding, of course, as is he. But it appears that these two teams have actually ended up being bottom two, which kind of surprises me on HELHa's part, though I only really know one or two of the players. I think they're using their sub today as well, Angolo, so maybe they've been using subs throughout the season. I'm not too sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe the quality of the league has improved as well. Okay, both teams seem to be ready. Okay, we got all of their players in, so that is nice. Team names are all correct. HELHa and HOGENT. Not to be confused with UGENT. They can join whenever they want to. This will be a best of 5, mind you. Alright, looks like we'll be getting things underway. I remember when I played HELHa, specifically, I think it was Nico. I don't know. I'm just gonna say Nico. Or do I say Nico? I think Nico is more accurate. That's just a giant clearance or a banging hit from the midfield rather, from Excel, just going straight in. No real defense coming in. Sparky thought he was in a more safe position to commit there, but fortunately the defense was lacking early on for HELHa. But it is just game 1 and the first 10 seconds of game 1, so no panic should settling just yet. Nico already going for the backboard here. Does get it in the midfield. Bit clearance coming out from Excel. HELHa. You can already see it, I think, that Nico is their star man. I particularly noticed it when I was playing them. But I'm not too sure, it's been a while since I played these guys. I'm not too sure what playstyle they kind of go for in terms of, how Nico is utilized, especially. Because he's going to be the biggest component of this team, obviously, so the way his role in the team will be very crucial, whether he tries to just kind of ball chase and do everything on his own, whether it's in offense or defense, or whether he tries to just play extra defensively, making sure that just no real, crazy amount of goals conceded. We'll have to wait and see just what way he plays here. That's actually a big backflip from him, but it looks like teammates were just about able to get there back in defense in time. Big bump coming out. Nico gonna push this one downfield. He's kind of using the French Fennec here. Sparky does commit to that one. Doesn't quite get it cleanest hit. Ends up just hitting it off to the side. HELHa looking like a capable player for his team. Getting the first goal as well. Looking fairly mechanical. I'm just trying. Oh 1 second. Okay, I'm back. That was really loud. That was really loud, I won't lie, but it looks like I didn't miss anything. A very close opportunity, however, from HELHa. That was actually, could have been the difference there. And it might end up being. Fortunately, we didn't miss any goals there, ladies and gentlemen. This might just be another good shot here into the top corner, and it is Richie Man Swagger getting the second goal here now. And it's quite ironic as well, considering they were, you know, just seconds away from conceding just, you know, 10 seconds before that. But now, you're being given a decent lead. This is kind of a lead where you can either become one-sided from here, or, you know, they could kind of get overconfident. And HELHa, if they're able to respond to that, they can all of a sudden really make this, you know, an uncomfortable game for HOGENT. Again, they have had a good start here. Sparky gets a good read from the corner, and the defense just was not quite ready. You know, I was not expecting this out of him. You know, from what I've seen so far, he's not playing up to that level, and now it looks like he might just be jumping up a little bit in his quality of play. And looks like HELHa will be making this an irritating game for HOGENT early on in this series. Angolo with the ball, but at least he looks like he was going to touch it, so at least it's a little bit deceptive. Rich there just trying to clear this one out. Looks like Angola will try to collect in defense, just trying to pinch this one out. Nico passing this one off to the side. Sparky does with the ball. Defense will be fine here. It's Richie perfectly in position there in defense. This might be a bit of a chaotic play here coming out from HELHa. This might just be a dribble play, but no, Nico, the star man, been able to handle it in the end. Turbo again going for the backboard, but Nico, I'm going to say his name a lot during the series, again in position. And I'm waiting to see, you know, a lot of moments like we see from Sparky, where one of the worst players in the lobby, you know, because I feel like both teams currently have like a one standout player. You know, Richie's been pretty good himself, don't get me wrong, but you know, maybe he'll prove me wrong later on. Oh no! That is just yeah, that is an own goal coming out from HOGENT, and all of a sudden, last 20 seconds, we're all tied up. Sparky, you know, getting a good touch there, don't get me wrong, but Richie able to get it off to the post, and unfortunately for him, ends up putting it in the back of his own net. But HELHa definitely had a lot of pressure in this game, and I feel like definitely deserves to be a tie game as of right now. A good bump coming through, but Nico, the only one bang, doesn't actually get the greatest defensive touch, and Sparky, look at that, a great defensive touch. Able to progress this one downfield. Now maybe it'll be HOGENT at the end of this game losing, but no, Engolo just shoots it slightly wide as both teams posturing up for overtime. Look at that, the white octane coming out from Turbo. It's been an exciting game once. It's been interesting, but oh no! Kickoff disaster coming out from HELHa. That is not ideal. Not ideal. Yep. We're just gonna have to move on from that one. That was an interesting game one. I feel like we saw a lot of everything in that game. And HOGENT, I mean, I wouldn't really say completely deserved winner. I mean, they deserved to win, but only because you know, HELHa missed the kickoff in overtime. Bit of a unexciting ending to the first game, but you know, that's just how it goes, and you gotta face the consequences sometimes, you know. Decent game for Sparky, to be fair. You know, getting the crucial save near the end of regulation, and then getting that corner read as well. He's actually impressed me here. Look at the titles: Blizzard Wizard. You know, at first I thought XL would kind of be the one to stand out from HOGENT, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is a more balanced team than I originally thought. So you know, I'm looking forward to finding out in this series. Turbo, able to almost get that dunk. You know, he got a soft touch there, but really needed that dunk and able to make that effective. XL now going for the flip reset. Doesn't quite get the connection he wanted to. The defense from HELHa ended up being able to deal with that one. Sparky, and a couple of touches here in offense, getting the bump as well. Very important there. Angolo trying to get this in midfield, but didn't quite get the last touch that was required. That's a big demo coming out. XL trying to set up a dribble, but no real boost to his name. Had to go low there, and ended up not being too hard for the defense to deal with. Sparky going for a shot, but I think the player there coming in from HELHa kind of just making that one awkward to shoot, not quite being sure what was happening. I think he was given a little bit more time, you know, being sure that he was the one taking the shot. He would have scored it, but unfortunately a bit of confusion coming into play, resulting in them not quite pouncing off of you know, a good opportunity for them. XL able to get this in blue territory here. Nico off to the side, Turbo with a quick challenge coming through, forcing the whole team to kind of go backwards here and resettle themselves. Nico being a bit aggressive here, kind of leaving his team a bit open. XL doesn't quite have any boost to his name, which will try to 50 it through, but unfortunately eventually the defense was able to get back. But I don't like that aggressive pitch there from Nico, so there's kind of pushes that you really should not be going for when you're the clear best on your team. Nico going for a content play, or a highlight play rather, not content play, doesn't quite make any sense. But you know, looks like that one mistake ended up not quite being punished. Nico, the only one back here, needs to get an important touch. Looks like he gets faked out by XL. Will be almost an open net, but a shot is wide, and again the reception after that in the midfield also not quite on target. HELHa, I feel like they should be a goal down, but at this point. But looks like, you know, the consistency has just not been there in offense for HOGENT, and the boost count not quite on point either. Whenever they have had a clear opportunity, I feel like they have been on low boost the majority of the time. Here, shot again, way too high. Good demo though by Turbo. XL eventually coming in, going for a pass off to the side. Richie, bit awkward here, ends up just giving away to Nico. Bit of a corner party here, but maybe somebody's able to score from it. Oh my god, that's almost a pinch. Not a pinch, a double tap. It was pretty much an accident and almost on target. Well, it was on target, but you know, the bounce was way too slow, and the defender was just around the area. Eventually able to get there. If he was able to get a bit of speed on that, it definitely would have been a very, very cool play. Very much a highlight play for HELHa, but unfortunately for them, they do remain tied. Big clearance coming out from HELHa. Sparky trying to get the redirect, or read rather, but ends up just kind of pushing this really wide and ends up giving the ball away. Oh my, that's a big whiff coming out, but looks like teammate was in position here. This might just be an open net, and it was. Angolo able to get this into the bottom corner, and it's in the defense. Where is it? Richie all the way into corner boost. XL in midfield isn't quite able to get back, and subsequently they're 1-0 down now. HELHa, the ones leading, and for both teams it's been a shocking game here overall. You would say, you know, HOGENT have been in offense for the majority of the time, so they should be winning, but they have been shocking in offense. HELHa trying to gain some momentum here, trying to get a second one, but it's a good shot from Turbo off the bounce on the corner. And now they themselves tied things up. Look at that. Great read, and the defense just not quite expecting the read coming out from him. And I'm not surprised, you know, for one thing, considering the shooting previous to that goal. But HELHa, they have looked a little bit better now in the past minute or so. So they could always respond early here. A good pass from Axel to Turbo. Defense still has to do a bit more work here, HELHa. They're trying to get it out. Now field 50 from Turbo. Axel trying to get an early challenge, and he does so as well. And that's going to be important there for HOGENT, you know, when you have the one player on the opposing side, you know, quite a lot being more outstanding than his teammates. It's a really good tactic when your team is a little bit more balanced. Just do a lot of early challenges, because one of their biggest assets will probably be slowing it down, trying to outplay the opponents one by one. But looks like Nico will be forced to make his plays quickly, if that's what the opponents are doing. Sparky able to get this to the backboard. Nico going for the shot, but again, defense holding up, and Golo not quite getting the controlling touch he wants to. And looks like that's generally his playstyle, is playing it slow, playing controlled. Not quite comfortable when the play gets a bit too quick. Sparky, 0-second play, but a top corner save coming out from Axel. And we'll be going to another overtime this time. I hope there isn't a kickoff miss from HELHa, or either of the teams for that matter. Ends up not being the case. Nico drops it to the backboard. Sparky with a shot, but again, defense in position there. If that one was conceded, would have just been a mistake on the defense from HOGENT. Ball midfield, nobody quite able to get to that one. Sparky trying to clear this one out, and sometimes the defense has not looked in position for HOGENT, so some of those clears might just catch them off guard. Your top corner shot, but fortunately off target here for HOGENT. HELHa having to do some defending here. Looks like the hit wasn't quite what he wanted it to be, but ends up being a great pass. Here, shot again off target. HOGENT, they can't just keep missing these shots. Eventually you will concede off a counter attack, like they have before. But HELHa, they are surviving. But if they, from their point of view, if they keep, oh, it looks like Nico has just straight up lost connection. I'm not too sure what the ruling is on that, but I think play just continues, and that's a goal. Well, not a lot of analysis to be done on that one. The only thing I can say is that is unfortunate, and I don't mean that in a way of oh, things didn't weren't quite as planned. I mean that as a, that is literally just, yeah, that is just unlucky. But you know, if they want to, they can do golden goal. If they want to, they can do a golden goal for the game too. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk to the players. I'll just ask, do you want to do a golden goal game to decide game 2? No idea if they can, if they're able to do, read English enough to know what that means, but yeah, hopefully. Oh, is that allowed? I have no idea. You know, I'm not held responsible for these things, so I don't have to care. It was overtime where the disconnect happened, so if they were to replay it, it would just be a golden goal game. I'll just wait and see what they say. I'm pretty sure if HOGENT asked to just count the game, then, you know, nothing that HELHa can say against that. But if they agree to it, then nice one. Is nobody... Nobody said anything. Golden goal is good. Okay. Okay. Well, let me change the score then, if I can do that quickly. No, not that way around. The other way around. There we go. Okay. Well, we've got golden goal for for game number 2. Well, looks like we're replaying that game 2 overtime then. It's a lot of respect has to be given here for HOGENT. They could, I'm pretty sure they could just say, no, that counts, and then they take game 2 according to the rules. I'm not sure, but I do believe so. Yeah, actually, a good touch from Nico, almost able to get that to Sparky, but, you know, good midfield play. Just generally speaking, the speed has been superior from HOGENT. Turbo, getting a couple decent touches here, but good defense from Nico. And Golo now, trying to cash this one, but Excel already knows what he's doing. He's already figured out the playstyle a little bit from his opponents. There you go. So back to Angola, but unable to really get an effective touch. Big clearance coming out from HELHa. Here, low boost here for Nico. Can't quite do too much here. And they might just have to rely on a big mistake coming out from defense, and a miss did come out, a demo as well from Sparky. That could have been the one that HELHa could have been able to score. But it looks like they'll have to wait for another opportunity. XL is trying to airdribble this one to his teammate, but challenge comes in anyways. Big clearance, Turbo. If that clearance was any harder, I think Turbo was not getting to that. Yeah, decent shot from Sparky, just about off target again. Reception in the midfield, again wide. HELHa, they've had the better overtime, if you will, here, but they've not been able to capitalize on their opportunities. And in the past, there's pretty much been HOGENT for the majority of time, getting the majority of efforts, so those efforts will be very, very valuable. Gotta make sure to not waste them here. Front post shot, but again, not quite beating the defense there. The front post saving that one. Here, HELHa, just constant pressure from them. And Golo now going for the shot and gets it in. Eventually, there we go, HELHa. So much pressure, unrewarded, but eventually the play comes through and Golo off to corner. One defender back, able to beat the last man. Are they just gonna go for kickoff? Oh, that's awkward. I'll remake for game 3. Okay, let me add that game, guys. Let me add that game. Update. Okay, everybody's out. Nice one. Currently 1-1 in the series. Just clear that up for everyone. Okay then, with all things tied up, it'll be interesting to see how HOGENT respond. You know, before that overtime, it has been HOGENT with the majority of pressure all the time. But now, once they got put on the back foot, they might the demographic of this game might just begin changing from now. Have to wait and see. After a whole overtime, it was just HELHa, nothing coming out of any worth from HOGENT. Looks like the early efforts will be going to HOGENT this time. It's instant response from HOGENT as Richie will be getting the first goal. Look at that big whiff coming out from Turbo. That might just be a fake, and if it was, a genius. But I feel like that was a whiff, but maybe. Maybe you never know if that was all intentional. Nico, not quite an effective touch there. He will be overcommitted to that one, but looks like defense there from Angolo, making sure it didn't end up mattering. Stream struggling. It's probably a little bit, but looks to be better than yesterday. Another shot coming out from Turbo, slightly wide here, another effort coming in, big challenges, and it looks like sometimes HOGENT, they see the opportunity because they're getting a lot of them, and they're kind of just overcommitting on that second man, going for plays, going for 50s in offense where they really can't get the ball in a useful position anymore. And maybe if they play a little bit more patiently, they can make do with the opportunities they get a little bit better, and not quite expose themselves as much. Okay, here. This one slow, ends up just kind of making it awkward for himself. Yeah, big whiff coming out from defense, and that will result in a second goal. And Richman Swagger 27 will be awarded with a goal. And that's how important it is. The playstyle that Nico plays is that important. When he messes up once, he has to realize that his teammates might just do so straight after him. And if that's the case, he'll probably concede from it. So one mistake there, and one goal conceded. Well, now they're in the game 2 goals down. Good challenge here, coming in from Angolo. Here backload coming out from Sparky, but will match it. Nico's up there in the far post. Sparky getting a decent midfield challenge here. Nico going for the backboard. Angolo not quite up to that one fast enough. Definitely threatening the net. Another shot coming in, but Turbo have to block with that one. Angolo off to the corner he goes. It's almost everyone. Is anyone there to shoot it? But it looks like Turbo in defense. He had a lot of time to get to that one. Nobody quite in position from HELHa. For Nico now going for the bottom corner, and he does find it. He's had to be a little bit quiet in this series to make do with some of the, the threatening plays that HOGENT has been making, but eventually is able to come in and secure a pretty free goal, and has the consistency and accuracy to make sure that one's in. Bit of a reminiscent of the first game so far, in terms of who scores when. Nico gets a really good ball into the midfield again. The defense quite fast, really fast defense coming out from HOGENT there, just making sure they're ahead of the offensive player going for the shot. That's been the case a lot for them. Big clearance coming out from Nico. After a corner he goes, and he's almost put that into the top corner. That would have been a highlight reel play, but unfortunately for him, not quite on target. And the bar / post doing a lot of work here for HOGENT. Otherwise they would have been tied at this point. XL just completely awkward. The entire defense cannot get a touch, and Angolo able to tie things up. From Turbo's perspective, you say you've got two teammates in position to somewhat deal with that, but looks like he does not. XL, and I get a flip reset here, unable to make it effective. Sparky, big clearance there, so much power as well. Great read from Turbo, and no boost as well. Getting that one to his corner. Here, double commit here, and our defense completely open. Looks like that's pretty much a triple commit. Teammate probably was in the corner. And HELHa just pushing everyone forward for that play. And unfortunately, that's what happens when you do that and not score. XL, he's going for multiple flip resets here and hasn't quite been able to make any of them effective. And don't get me wrong, he is threatening, always looks like he's about to do something, but never quite able to do something. Sparky here, great read off the backboard, but defense again holding up for HOGENT. Bit of miscommunication coming out from HELHa now. Golo taking his time there. It's a decent play. To backboard, this goes very high. We'll make it that the backboard defense will be easily first to that one. Both players just kind of hitting it in random directions, hoping someone from their team can get on the end of it. Here Angola going for the shot. A big pump came through before that in midfield. It looks like won't be threatening in the end. Now 7 seconds remaining. HELHa have to score 1 if they want to win this one. Whoever wins this will be on match point, and goal line defense will just try to keep it up, but unable to do so in the end. HOGENT will be getting to match point. And that's about deserved, to be fair. And it's especially that overcommit there. I think that was for the 3rd goal for HOGENT, being the biggest reason as to why they're in this position. They might want to take a little break here, you know, to calm down and, you know, let each other know what they're really expecting from each other, what kind of comms they want from each other. Because this is definitely a winnable series for them. But they do need to make their chances count, and more importantly, you know, they've been looking like a slightly better team than in that first game. But you can't make that start, you know, make your 3rd man overcommit like the way they have in this game. Well, it's not just 3, to be fair, not just the 3rd man. It's also been the 2nd man in that game, considering, you know, the commits they did in that corner and in the midfield, 2 people shooting there. Just not the situation you want to end up in. But regardless, we will be going to game number 4. Reminder, both of these teams currently at the bottom of Group B, both being 1 and 4. They both want to, you know, get that level up from the bottom and prove their worth. Here Turbo able to get this to the backboard, and big miss coming through, but Angola will make up for it. Here on the counter attack, and up is completely open. Look at that, a solo effort from Angola. At the start, I thought he was going to be a bit of a liability here, but he's really proven me wrong throughout these games. He's become very, very controlled, and getting a solo go there. Instant counter attack, moving that one down the field quickly. Golo now. Play gets feathered out eventually from Excel. I remember yesterday when I was casting Yugen, I actually said tethered out instead of... Oh my, that was almost a great play there from Angola, able to get that one to Sparky and almost in, but fortunately, defense holding up, and I mean, HOGENT's defense has been pretty good, I won't lie. They've been able to get to certain situations quickly. Problem is for them is that sometimes they are just not in defense, and it's usually when they're conceding. But as I was saying earlier, yeah, I was just saying, I said yesterday tethered out instead of feathered out. And I think, oh my, what a great play there from Nico. Look at that, a great fast read there, and the defense just cannot react in time. And a great pass as well from Angolo. And Nico really proving his worth there, if anything. Because every touch he makes seems to be better than anyone else in the lobby. Yeah, pre-read, pre-jump read from Sparky, gets it into the midfield. Anyone there? There was eventually a shot going down, but again off target. Oh, that was such a good play from Sparky, but unfortunately will not be rewarded. Nico was there in the midfield, but defense able to get one touch, and the shot came through. Fortunately, just wide of the post here. A great hit onto the backboard. 2 players committing, and Nico will secure a 3rd for HELHa. A great play here. They have been a little bit more suspect, to be fair. Whenever the ball is put into the backboard with extreme speed, that is when HOGENT have had trouble in defense as well. In the little times that they have, because they haven't had quite a lot of those situations where they have had to react fast. In those situations, and that will be a 4th HELHa taking a firm grip on this game. Look at that XL. You know, when you put it into midfield in a situation like that, you have to make sure you get a decent touch or your teammate's really close, but looks like he didn't and ended up conceding in the process. A great save coming out there from Sparky of almost a kickoff goal. And HOGENT, with the amount of firepower that they have, they can come back from this. Reminder, more than half of the game left as of right now. Nico trying to go for a clip there, but looks like he ended up being a lot further from the players than he wanted to. But while HOGENT have had a lot of firepower, they haven't quite consistently scored with that firepower. So the only way they do come from back from this if they score like the majority of their efforts whenever they're moving downfield here. Big whiff coming out and almost the reader, not the reader, the double tap, sorry. Just off the post. Oh, that would have been the start of the comeback. And looks like Sparky responds as well, and that will be a fifth. HELHa. Surely they can't choke this lead. I've actually said that twice a day. A redirect instead of a double tap. I'm not sure what my brain, what part of my brain believes a redirect is a double tap, but apparently it does. Looks like HOGENT have really dropped the ball here. They've just been completely dominated by HELHa, and to be fair to them, they have really moved up a level. Nico being a lot more threatening in offense as well. Getting this a really important clears, and I want to actually say Sparky actually have impressively been able to hit the ball really, really hard, and maybe that sounds not so impressive, but it actually is, especially when that's one of the weakest aspects of the defense of HOGENT, is when people put it onto their backboard really, really hard, or not even their backboard, just in general. If someone hits it really high and really hard, the defense never quite seems to be ready for HOGENT. They're only quite ready when they're in that perfect position to deal with the ball, but they're not in those positions too often when they're kind of committing to score a goal. And it looks like their defense in that sense has kind of been Swiss cheese here. So very impressive from HELHa to kind of notice the gaps in their defense and then make sure they're pouncing on those opportunities. Double whiff by, I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, a late goal, maybe a bit of confidence coming out. Maybe just a bit of confidence for HOGENT going into the next game, which will be a very important one, considering it will be game 5. And I won't lie, I'm not sure how the 5th one will go, because if someone gets nervous from HELHa, then that will be very problematic for them. You know, specifically looking at Nico. Though to be fair, both Sparky and Angola have had crucial moments to take control of the series themselves. So pretty much anyone, if anyone gets really nervous from HELHa going into game 5, then that will be big trouble for them. Otherwise, they have the momentum. They're the ones figuring out their opponents more than the opposite way round. So you have to say momentum in favor of HELHa going to game 5. I'm gonna ask them, do you want Champions Field? I'll just ask them, considering, you know, everybody loves a game 5. Looks like they said sure. So I will give them what they want. Champions Field. There we go. Okay. By the way, Matrix, I didn't check, but did you do the predictions? If so, who's... Oh, does that 0 in the pool? Did you do predictions for each game? I would have done the series personally. If that's what you did, I'm not sure. No one predicted? Happened, bro. You should have announced it in the chat, bro. Should have announced it. But that's alright, don't worry about it. We're gonna get Game 5 underway in Champions Field. Kickoff, I would say in favor of HELHa here, Turbo. For them, HOGENT, it will be really important to focus on how they're positioning themselves in defense and make sure they're not overcommitting in offense either, because those two have been their biggest reasons for conceding the goals that they have. Even awkward play here actually in defense from HOGENT. Awkwardly trying to dribble that one out, and in the process they're gonna have to sit in defense here a little bit. Just not quite the quality way out of defense. Here Nico getting this onto the midfield, shot coming through, but then Turbo with an incredible touch there. So important for them. After the whole team was awkward, and Turbo there coming in the midfield and getting that one touch out. Sal getting pre-jumped there by Sparky. Nico now in offense. Gets the read out again to the midfield it goes, and then Golo will get the goal. The first goal in Game 5. The defender there felt like he had the pre-jump. If the shot was good, then it would have just hit him straight on the car. But unfortunately for him, the shot in came in a little bit slower, and Golo more of aware of the pre-jump. Sparky with a big pinch, and as expected, HOGENT looking awkward when the ball goes flying around. Good 50 here by XL. We'll try to get this to the midfield, and he does as well. The shot not quite what it was supposed to be. And HELHa, they will get away with that one. Nico able to clear that one out. XL. Sideball here. Able to clear one out. To get a 50 as well, but Sparky able to get this one to a useful position. Flicks this one out, and now all the way back to the orange side. Nico there. And that one getting flicked, but Nico perfectly in position. And with that one, well, a shot coming almost through. But big whiff coming out from HOGENT. HELHa, they have just been the better team thus far in Game 5. Turbo getting out to midfield, but Nico with an important touch. But, you know, yeah, HOGENT, on average, player-by-player comparison, they do look like the more mechanical and capable team, but unfortunately for them, they do not have all assets of the game down, and HELHa, they are just the more consistent team. At least in this series in particular. They've done a great job improving throughout the series and figuring out their opponents. Sparky with a close 50 here in Golo. A lot of boost there will end up whiffing the ball in the process. Sparky, the only one back here. Shot does go through after a pre-flip from Richie. And now we will be going to a tie in game number 5 with a lot of time remaining. Who will be the victors? Neither team really wants to finish last in their group, which they might if they lose this. So a lot of pride will be on the line, and Sparky will just have an open net pretty much. The defense is not holding up from HOGENT, so they did not know what to do. Nico making them really awkward, and XL just ends up passing it over to Sparky in the midfield. You can't just clear it in the midfield like that. You will always have someone on the opposite side ready to make a touch. And just like that, so many mistakes coming out from HOGENT, and HELHa, they will be in the lead. Sparky again. You know, I look at each player and I always want to say, oh, they've grown so well in this series, but it pretty much is everyone on HELHa. They've all grown so much in this series compared to how they started. Which is quite ironic considering the opposite side have done the exact opposite. You know, at the beginning I was thinking, yeah, HOGENT, they look so much more mechanical, and HELHa, they're not looking too good. But it's kind of turned around, and don't get me wrong, HOGENT still look pretty mechanical, but they don't make it effective. Richie almost able to do so as he gets the ball perfectly in the midfield, but nobody in position. Turbo again, shot way too high. And it's a shame really, HOGENT, they could do so much more with what they have, but they're just not able to do it. And HELHa, they have been put in quite the fortunate situation because of it, because HOGENT, they actually look like, you know, they get so many opportunities where they do get the final shot and they just put it way too high or way too wide. On the opposite side, HELHa, they figured them out so well. A good demo coming through, but nobody quite shooting there on HELHa's side. The stream is taking an L right now. That is unfortunate here. Big whiff coming out and goal, going for the shot. Fortunately, again a little bit wide here. 30 seconds remaining. HELHa maintain the lead. Have so far proven to be the better team. But still, 17 seconds remaining here. Nico there to try to clear this one out. Turbo. Big clearance from himself, but not quite making the defense awkward enough here. XL now. Off to the backboard. Nico there with such an important clearance. And now Sparky off to the orange side. Tries to get the shot as well, and he does. With 1 second remaining, they've pretty much confirmed that HELHa with a 2-goal lead and should be winning game number 5. Here off to the side, Turbo tearing that one out. Had to get a goal there, but I think it was already 0 seconds. So that will be it. HELHa will be the victors here. A game 5 victory for HELHa Esports, and that's about deserved. They responded very, very well to the mechanics and pressure that HOGENT gave them, and they gotta be thankful because it really made them a lot better afterwards. They responded very, very well. I learned from them very, very well. Each player really stepping up there on the blue side. Alright, there we go. So GG's. You sure it's laptop? Yeah, it is. It is. Considering I have 0.4% dropped frames. Which is really good, by the way, if you were wondering. And anything about above 10% begins to be troubling. But I'm on 0.4? Yeah, 0.4. So that's actually really good. Well, there we have it. Thanks for stream. I'm sorry about the what you call it, the sporadic issues. Look up sporadic if you don't know what it is. Hey HELHa, I always like seeing them do well. Don't get me. I was happy when I played BSL that HELHa were able to get that 5th spot. Realistically, they were just nowhere near the top 4 in skill levels, so it was actually, I saw it as a good achievement for them to get that 5th spot in the Winter Clash. Realistically, they only were able to do that because of HOGENT. Well, not them removing their player, but their best player leaving because he had a big ego. After he got swept by me and losing in game 5 against UCL, he was like, yo, I am the only one that does stuff on my team, bro. I'm going to leave. And I'm like, okay, bro. Okay, bro. And then he left. So that's the UGET story for Winter Clash. But HELHa, they're actually a pretty decent team. Pretty decent team. Anyways, I will be I'll be signing off. Maybe I can't really edit the overlay, so I can't put the score in. But I'll be going off. Thank you everyone for joining in. Happy to see HELHa get the victory, but I will be signing off. So catch you all later.